Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. When we last left off, Dex Beagler's body was and I was hoping I could remember the word before I finished that sentence. Decomposed. His body decomposed. What? So, I thought I tested whether I could send Dex Beagler's body to Dr. Septique early Wednesday morning, but I went back and rewatched my footage, and apparently I mixed up my saves and actually sent Beagler's body to Septique Tuesday afternoon. So, of course his body hadn't decomposed too much then. So, I had to do a little bit of a change. Instead of sending Beagler's body to Septique, I sent his body to the crime lab. Thankfully, it takes the same amount of time, and I did not have to change any of my Wednesday plans. I have now gone through Wednesday again, and danced the night away, and here we are once again Thursday morning. Along the way, by the way, I learned that the phone call that you get from Stefan Vortex can happen randomly at the entrance of any area. However, the odds of getting the phone call at any point are apparently very slim. So, I got really lucky that first phone call happened when it did, because I don't know how long it would have otherwise taken me to discover it. So the first thing we're going to do is head to Police HQ and go upstairs to the crime lab, where we are going to check out Dex Beagler's partially decomposed frozen body. Thankfully, despite being partially decomposed, it being frozen for the past day means that we can perform a full examination and get all the information we need. It is important, by the way, to do this when Milton is not here, because he doesn't like it, and I don't want to make Milton uncomfortable. That said, we don't need to investigate much. We're going to focus on his head, where we will examine his brain and find out about the brain hemorrhage. We'll also examine the skull so that we know that he was dead before he got injured. Focusing on the torso, we will only investigate the stomach. The other stuff, not so important. But the stomach, we'll find out that he had coffee and donuts. And we'll get a blood sample. We'll then use the chemical analyzer, starting with the blood sample, and also the coffee cup and the spacefish venom. Not going to analyze the bloody tire because, yeah, that's Dex Beagler's blood on it, but it is not responsible for his death. While we're here, we'll also go to the chief's office and confront him about the fake qualifications. And I will also suggest that he turn himself in. I'm hoping that is the correct option. Ideally, he will resign and the police force won't be lost without him. Hopefully it'll work out, and I don't know, maybe Squidley will become chief. Because I'd hate to think that somebody corrupt will take his place. Okay, after the police station, we'll go ahead and head to the suburbs. We'll head to the Beagler residence and check out the lunchboxes. Not going to ask about them, we're just going to examine them so we find out about Crisp Manhaven. After that, we'll go ahead and pick up Milton. And it is now 11 o'clock. At this point, Langdon Vortex will have left his room, So we'll be able to talk with him in the garden up here. First up, we're going to talk to Chives about everything. Learn everything we can about him. Him being not a butler. Becoming acquaintances. Asking about Beagler so that we learn that Chives hates action heroes. I don't think Chives is responsible for Dex Beagler's murder, but we'll have all the information. Now up here in the garden, it's possible to take a nap under the tree. I don't know what the condition for that is. Either Langdon has to be not here, or we can't nap while Milton is with us. But we are going to talk to Langdon about everything except for Dex Beagler, because knowing now that Beagler is kind of a stand-up guy, I want to not agree with Langdon that Beagler sucks. And if I say that Langdon's wrong about Beagler, Langdon will become uneasy with us. I don't want to do that. So, just gonna go with the other options. From there, we're just gonna go into the manor, investigate all of the displays, which, by the way, takes 15 minutes each, but this is how we get the pen. Going into Langdon's room, we'll get the gala invitation. That is the only thing we can get without labeling ourselves an avid lawbreaker. And then head into Stefan Vortex's office to have the full conversation with him. But we will not necessarily agree to sabotage the lab experiment. In fact, at this point, we couldn't even if we wanted to. And before I forget, I do want to take the time to play with Milton. Alright, from the space station, we're going to go straight to the research lab, because if we do anything else, Pibby Freeb is going to be gone by the time we get here. She leaves at 16 o'clock. So we'll do the interview as we have previously shown. And as long as we're here, we'll go ahead and witness the experiment being a success. After that, we'll go ahead and bring Milton home. Unfortunately, playing tennis with him didn't seem to make him any happier, so I'm not really sure whether that was worth the time. But maybe it could be that he just started out so unhappy that even tennis couldn't cheer him up very much. And then, next on the to-do list, we're going back to Police HQ. Officer Gorb is thankfully still here. We'll ask about a bunch of outside work so that we can unlock the ability to date her again, because I haven't on this save so far. I mean, I experimented with it, but I always reloaded my save after the fact. But I have decided that I actually do want to go on a date with her to get that information about her being dissatisfied with the police force, just in case that is actually useful. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna take her to a place that I haven't so far, and I'm surprised that I haven't. We are going to go to the Krusty Donut Cafe. Gorb, you found the place. Well, yeah, I've done enough coffee runs for the station that I feel I should be paying rent here. Lieutenant Beagler used to put away 12 cups a day. So, how about we go get our donuts? Sounds like just what I need right now. I'll use the card. We'll each pay for our... Oh, that's not what I wanted. As I was saying, this is all on me. Are you sure? Thanks. That's really nice of you. Ah, it's nothing. Ah, delicious donuts. Let's chow down. That'll take care of my hunger situation at the least. And then we'll have the usual questions. The important one, of course, is about why Squidley took this job. I'm gonna say young and naive because that is how we learn that Gorb is also dissatisfied with the police force. The second question, I'm not sure is really important, but I will just say that Beagler was a jerk. And not going to worry about a gift. And we wind up getting the key from her. It's as though the game wanted me to be able to get in her apartment when she's not home. Perhaps to acquire the torn down posters. Now, at this point, I am very curious. We have gathered a lot of information of Officer Gorb, tore down the posters, got Dex coffee, cynical of the system. We also have the various bits of information that we have gathered with Dex Beagler. Poisoned by coffee, the poison in the blood, the space fish venom, the brain hemorrhage, the post-mortem injury. I do notice there is one more line in his information that we could possibly have, but I don't necessarily know that we can actually fill that with more information or not. My question is, do I have enough information to successfully accuse Officer Gorb? I'm doing this so that I can find out whether I am on the right track with Gorb's being the murderer. Because I don't want to get to the end of the week and find out either I missed some vital information, or it turns out that Gorb isn't the murderer after all. Because like I said, she seems like a kitten. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, Squidley, you got us all here. So who did it? Who killed Dex? Yes. Lay out your case, Sergeant. Well, based on my investigation, there can only be one person who could have done it, I hope. It was Officer Gorb. A traitor in our department? Hold on. Squidley, can you please lay out your evidence? Okay, the fact that we actually can provide evidence is definitely a good sign. Because before, Squidley was befuddled about the prospect of providing evidence. But now, Gorb saw Beagler as a hero. He was the reason she joined the force in the first place. But actually working alongside the man didn't live up to her expectations. The Beagler she met was a flawed, jaded man. He cheated on his wife. He did dirty work for Stefan Vortex on the side. He relegated Gorb to boring, menial tasks like fetching him his coffee. The reality disgusted Gorb. She'd wasted her life worshipping a false idol. She went back to her apartment and tore down all of her Dex Beagler posters in disgust. But let's jump back to that coffee. Dex Beagler died through drinking coffee contaminated with deadly spacefish venom. Coffee that Gorb had brought him. Containing venom from the police HQ evidence room. The key to which was mysteriously thrown in the trash. By the way, did you know Dex had a secret family living in the ganglands? Oh boy, we're like giving all of the information. Shelley, an ex of his, and their son, Chip. He was on his way out to visit them when the poison hit. Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. He collapsed in an alley right outside their apartment. And that is how the cookie crumbled. There's a piece of information that I didn't acquire, it occurs to me. Because I didn't think it would be important because it's not really relevant to his death, but him being ran over. Well, let's see how the rest of this plays out before I reload and do the situation with the crime lab again. Sergeant Squidley, you have made a very convincing case. Arrest the suspect. You heard him, Squidley. Let's go get the scumbag. And for God's sake, put on your dang uniform. We want to look professional for this. Something else I will do before I make the accusation again. Although, I guess I don't necessarily need to. Chief! Squidley! What are you doing here? Uneasy. Quit the act, Gorb. We know it was you. We know you killed Dex Beagler, and now we're taking you in. But Gah! Okay, fine. I did it. Are you happy now? You solved the case. Huzzah! But who's really in the wrong here? Dex was a liar, a cheat. He was as corrupt as they come. And yet you made him the poster body of your stinking department. I grew up worshipping that man. Wanted to be a big, famous hero and save the city. But heroes don't exist, do they? You're all the same. All of you. You're worse than the criminals. You're not going to clean up this town. So I had to do it for myself. And I started with the biggest hypocrite around. You should give me a medal, not arrest me. Alright, Gorb. Save it for the judge. It's time to go. You're not taking me anywhere. Oh gosh, did I remember to grab my gun? Yes. Get down, Chief. Also, the chief has resigned in disgrace. Oh, this ends the game. Good morning. This is Entered Newsman with Moontropolis News. Officer Gorb of Moontropolis PD was today found guilty of the murder of her co-worker Dex Beagler. Originally a devoted fan of Beagler, it is believed that meeting the real man left Gorb disillusioned. Disappointed by his imperfections, she killed him using a rare poison slipped into his coffee. Gorb walked with a visible limp for the duration of her trial. This is believed to be the result of a laser wound sustained during her arrest. She was shot as she attempted to draw a laser blaster on the chief of police. It is expected that she will now receive a life sentence without chance of parole. In other news, Moontropolis is to receive a new chief of police. After the dramatic resignation of the former chief last year, a long recruitment campaign commenced. And today, Mayor Formaggio announced the appointment of former Sergeant Squidley to the job. I was right! Squidley rose to prominence for his sterling work on the Dex Beagler murder case. It is expected he will start his work as chief next week. We at Moontropolis News wish the lucky appointee all the best in their new role. Unfortunately, he's alone. Not as is in his underwear this time, but alone. And coming up next, we have a story about the kitten who has become the central figure of a new religion. All that and more after this commercial break. All's well that ends well, I guess. I wonder what else is on. Knock knock. Who could that be? No, really, who is that? Oh my gosh, it's Clorback the Third. Squidley, my friend, come give me a hug. I'm sorry, who are you? How rude of me. It is I, Clorback the Third, the deposed Emperor of Titan. You helped me out over email a while ago. Yeah, and we never got that money. Apologize about my messy typing, by the way. I'm still learning to use a keyboard. Anyway, my taxi went to the wrong house, then I found your apartment and they said you'd moved. It took me almost an entire year to track you down. You're real? I thought I'd been scammed. Scammed? By an emperor? That's a good one. No, I'm here to give you your share of my fortune. You did hold up your end of the deal after all. Oh wow, this is amazing. You bet it is. We're going to have a smashing time. Let's say we go get a steak dinner to celebrate. Clorback, old buddy, this is going to be the beginning of a wonderful friendship. And that is the end of Sergeant Squidley again. However, I did not expect that successfully ending the case would end the game prematurely. And I have some unfinished business. First off, even though we actually do get a good ending without finding out about Beagler being run over, I do want to go back and actually find out about that. More importantly, number one, I want to find out about that gala invitation and what that party is like. And most importantly, I want to have a good relationship with both Mona and Milton. Anyway, back again, are we? So you lived out another week. You even caught the killer. Congratulations! So how about it? Are we firing up the time machine again? The power is in your hands. Just say the word. No, we're not going to redo the entire week. My gosh, no. There was so much that I did during the week, I've kind of lost track of it all. So, end the game here, and then I'll reload my save. Bah! I should have known a peon like you would have such little ambition. Very well then, enjoy your dang title screen. Do we get a new title screen? No, I didn't expect we would. But yeah, that's all for today. And I feel pretty good knowing that when we do end this run, we will be finishing this game. But that comes later. Next time, I'm going to work towards what I feel is going to be the best ending. It'll probably take a few episodes, mind you. But yeah, actually, come to think of it, we have all the information we need to finish this quest. Everything else is just extras. I don't actually have to worry about a bunch of experimentation. I can just go for the stuff that I know to do, and we'll be done.